Hi guys, so I wanted to do something a little bit different this week for our discussion board and do a video instead for my post. So for the first question, there were two students who had a crawler that looked through millions of documents that were on the World Wide Web. This crawler was later named Google, and it was created in 1996. So I think Google definitely 110% changed the way that students do their research, or how people look up different products and how they do their shopping, and just the different exposure that you. Because when I think of Google, not only when you're looking up something, but also you have the ads that come through as well. So it's just different exposure of different companies and the marketing, and just so much goes into it. Um, so I definitely 110% think that Google produced productivity, for the simple fact that students, I don't know if this is a bad or good thing, but now students can actually just go to the web, go to Google and do their research for their paper through there rather than going to the library and looking through multiple books and checking them out and stuff like that. It's made things a lot easier to find. So one thing I use Google for a lot is if I'm looking up the hours of somewhere, I can literally type in the store, the location, and just the word hours. Keywords is a huge thing for Google, and it gives me the hours of the exact store. It's has so much information. I definitely, personal opinion, don't think Google is going to be going away for a very, very, very long time. Um, so for the second one, in 2007, the iPhone was born. I definitely think the iPhone was a game changer. It made other phone companies have to work a little bit harder on coming up with newer concepts and the innovation and just different things. It's kind of funny. I feel like when they released their first iPhone, everybody went crazy over it. It was like the new hottest thing on the market. And even today, I mean, they release an iPhone, I think it's every September. Um, People still go crazy and they sell out of them like crazy. It's very interesting. I definitely think that, and I am an iPhone user. I've actually gone back and forth between Android and iPhone quite often, but the last couple of years I've stuck with the iPhone. I do think that the iPhone has definitely increased productivity for their users. It is pretty quick. The only thing I do want to point out, and might just be my opinion, but I've actually also read it as well. Other people have posted this on Facebook, and I've actually personally experienced it. Um, is that when iPhone releases a new phone, it's almost like the older phones slow down. So it's kind of interesting, I guess, just because it's almost like, I don't know if it's coincidental or what it is, but it's almost like a push, like a nudge, go get the new iPhone because this one isn't going as fast as it used to, or something like that. It's very odd, but bigger picture, they definitely increase the productivity, for their users. And the next question, if I could invent something new to help boost productivity. So rather than thinking big picture, I think when I read that question, I think about my job. I'm a manager in collections in a call center. And so something that we get every day is we get reports of what our direct reports did the day prior. And that's the issue. It's always the day prior. The only thing that we get in real time is their break statuses, when they're going, how many minutes they've been in break for the day. That's the only thing we get in real time. And that's definitely 100% beneficial. But it's how many calls have they made? Have they taken any inbound calls? Have they closed any accounts? Have they collected any money, on those accounts, or any red flags that came up on their phone calls? Anything like that. We always get those reports the next day, and I personally don't think it doesn't hold as much weight when I'm pulling them in the next day and saying, "Hey, yesterday, like, you really fell off on your calls that you made. Like, you didn't make that many. Like, that was yesterday. I'm sure, now today they're gonna do a little bit better because I said something, but what about yesterday? I can't get back that time." And so when I think of like boosting productivity at my job, I think having like real time automated reports that come out to us like we don't even if it was in Tableau, I'm not too savvy with all that stuff. But something we can literally access right then and there, and it's all the contents there. Because I think it's more beneficial me pulling them into my desk right then and there and saying, "Hey, like the last hour or two, like you've fallen off, you haven't done XYZ, like let's work on getting it back on track." And that's real, like that's right there, like that's happening then. And so I think that holds more weight and will push them to do even more that day rather than just like simply losing that time and having the conversation the next day. Um, so yeah, that's my post for the week, and I look forward to reading everybody's.